Zia. Hello there, Galveston County. We are on the road. We spent the last 4 hours driving from Iowa to Illinois, and now just outside of Chicago, maybe another hour away outside of Chicago. But a really good drive so far, and then the cars are on the radio on 95.9, paying homage to Rick Ocasek, RIP, and grateful to see all of you out there tonight on a Sunday evening. Hope that wherever you are, I saw Galveston pop up, saw some other communities pop up as well, Gary, which we're going to be in tomorrow. Hope you all are having a great Sunday evening. We've had a good day so far. We had some roundtables, including the last one that we had in Waterloo with the amazing Mayor Hart and Representative Smith and Senator Giddens, and then just leaders from the community talking about a number of issues, from gun violence to education to civil rights to what the future looks like when all of us are participating and voting, and just how we make that happen. So grateful to everyone who did that. And then yesterday at the Steak Fry in Des Moines, just a really fired up, amazing crew of supporters and volunteers, including people who came from out of town. We had folks from Cynthia, California, Texas,
yep, I think Virginia,
Washington State,
Nevada.
Virginia, Nevada, many of whom got together last night and threw us a surprise birthday party with a birthday cake, which was super sweet. And so thanks to everybody who did that. You all are absolutely amazing. And then you sent us off with all these great birthday cards. My birthday is in a few days, 3 or 4 days from now, and all these great birthday cards that were really kind and heartfelt and were really nice to read on the road as we drove out. Cynthia, you're driving through some heavy weather here. How's it going?
It's good. It is hard to see right now, but I'm focused. And
I'm glad you're focused on the
yes,
road.
I am, totally.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you all what it looks like out here. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Brent. And thanks to everyone who has been making donations, whether to celebrate my birthday, which is coming up, or just because you're excited about what's going on in the campaign, or because you know that we just qualified for the October debates, or you want to make sure we qualify for the November debates. Whatever the reason, everyone who's gone to BetoO'Rourke.com and chipped in $5, $10, $15, just want you to know that it's appreciated. And I'm taking the time to reach out to many of those who have donated, just to shoot you a quick text message to say thanks. Also to those who are supporting the campaign by phone banking or knocking on doors, just want you to know that it is greatly appreciated. And I've been trying to reach out to you as well. So thank you for that. And then we saw a lot of you in Iowa, and you all have just been after it, day in, day out, through the dog days of summer. And I was talking last night to some veterans of campaigns in presidential cycles past, and they all say the summer is just the toughest part of the Iowa campaign cycle. Just never ends, not a lot of action. You've had that first flush of excitement when all the candidates announce, and then it's just the really tough grinding work of knocking on doors. But we have the best supporters, the best staff, the best volunteers out there, and they have relentlessly been engaging with people in Iowa in every single part of the state, throughout all the counties, and it's really making a difference. And just want to say thank you to you all for doing that, and that it was wonderful to see you all. And the boat that you built, which I don't totally know what got into Chris Hall's mind, but he built a boat that they set out on a little pond outside of the Steak Fry yesterday. It had a Beto sign on it. I think he may have done it because it's the first boat at the Steak Fry. but we also thought it might lend itself to the analogy or the metaphor of burning your boats. When you've landed on that shore and you're in for the fight and you're going to fight to the end, you burn your boats down so there's no going back. And so we're going to have a ceremonial boat burning at some point, but right now the boat is in storage. But grateful to everyone who built the boat and everyone who was out there. So again, if you want to help out, if you want to join this campaign, you can go to BetoO'Rourke.com and sign up there to canvas, donate 10 or 15 bucks, or you can find out where I am on the issues that matter most to you. All of our policy positions laid out there as well. So here's a question. That's about whether they're donating $5 or $7, I think. Whatever you want to do, $7 if you're asking me, if it's a choice between the two. Rob asks, how's that gun control working in Chicago? And Rob, if I may be so bold as to assume that you're making the same kind of argument that Ted Cruz makes, which is, look, Beto, if you're for universal background checks, if you're for red flag laws, if you're for ending the sale of weapons of war like AR-15s and AK-47s, just look at Chicago. That stuff doesn't work. They have gun control in that city and they still have gun violence. What I've learned from listening to Mayor Lightfoot and others in Chicago who understand this issue better than any of us is that as long as you have overly permissive gun sales in other communities where you don't have background checks at all, or loopholes so big you could drive a tank through them, or no accountability for gun dealers who are absolutely unscrupulous in who they sell to, then you're going to have gun violence problems in places like Chicago or in other communities that we visited. We really need to make this a national priority if we're going to keep everyone in this nation safe. And that's why it's not up to Chicago or Washington, D.C. or El Paso, Texas, or one state or another. It's up to all of us as Americans to do this. And we've really got to decide that we're going to stand up for one another, stand up for some common sense, and make sure that we have gun laws that protect your Second Amendment right to own a firearm, to protect yourself, to hunt, to go shoot at the range, but that we have gun laws that protect all of us from someone who would use an AR-15 or an AK-47 to kill our fellow human beings, our fellow Americans in our schools, in our Walmarts, in our churches, in our synagogues, just exactly what has been happening in this country far too often. So Rob, appreciate the question, but we're gonna have a series of gun violence roundtables in Chicago tomorrow to hear directly from people affected and impacted, but there's a first quick answer. Samantha would love to come out to Phoenix, so I'll just interpret this as an invitation and your willingness to volunteer to help us organize there. So looking forward to seeing you there. You know who this is? This is more cars. So 95.9 in Chicago, that's the station we're listening to as we drive in from the outskirts, paying some tribute to Rick Ocasek, who died earlier this year, a master at writing these pop songs, and that's what's playing on the radio. Ginger says come out to Arizona, so we're getting some support for Arizona. Kat, who's right behind us, also wants us to go to Utah.
That's right.
So Arizona, we may do an Arizona-Utah swing before long. Hey Maya, good to see you. Linda wants to know about rallies in Las Vegas. So we're gonna be there for a gun violence forum in Las Vegas soon. Please stay tuned, TBA on whether we'll be doing some rallies there or town halls, but if we do, Linda would love to see you and would love to have your help and getting us out there.
Public events are on Facebook, so folks want to know what they're posted on there.
Okay, we've got two things. One, Gina says, when are we gonna be in South Florida? I don't know, but I hope soon.
Me too.
Yeah, we enjoyed our visit last time and I'd love to come back. And then here's a question, and I'll just open this up to Abe, who is, I was afraid you were asleep back there, Abe.
Not asleep.
Abe had a late night, but was doing campaign work late into the night, right? and then had a late night the night before, all about the campaign 24/7. But for Kat and for Abe and for Cynthia, Susie says, what is your favorite steak fry moment?
I'm gonna pass to Kat, and then I will think about it. Let me think
I
about
thought
it.
the march from the pre-rally to the actual venue is pretty awesome with all of our organizers. They're cool signs.
That was pretty cool. Abe?
I liked seeing the boat launch on Friday. That was pretty cool that it floated.
Will you tell us why we had a boat?
Because why wouldn't we have a boat?
There you go. While
We have
others
to have a
ask,
boat.
why would we have a boat? We ask, why not have a boat?
And when you do light it on fire, it is a lot of styrofoam and spray paint, so you better watch out. Just stay
No.
real far back.
You know what? For the environmental damage that lighting that boat on fire with all of the styrofoam and spray paint, I don't think we can do that.
Right.
So
I know.
we are going to light that boat on fire and burn it down in spirit,
That's right.
symbolically.
So my favorite part was we had so many amazing volunteers, and they were so fired up, so energized, and some of them went up on the stage with you when you spoke, and I thought that was amazing. So much fun.
Were you just hydroplaning?
No.
It felt like we hit
No,
a...
Beto, no.
I want to show you all the road. It is nasty. It's cats and dogs out there.
What was your favorite one?
It's all cars all the time.
This is a great song.
We didn't plan this, but we are super excited about the Cars retrospective going on 95.9 in Chicago. Do you remember this?
I totally remember.
You were, I would guess, 12 years old when this came. I'm guessing because I think I was around 10.
We're the same age.
Yeah.
More or less.
So, Kat, my favorite moment at the steak fry, probably when we came in, and who's our friend in the overalls? Scott? Not Scott.
Why would you say that?
I can't remember.
Abe, you know who it is?
I'm trying to remember. He's awesome.
Not Keith.
God, how did I just blank on it?
I blanked
I
on it.
just, you know who you are. Wearing the overalls, painted
no
up,
Shirt, and no shirt.
no
He was
shirt.
awesome.
busting out of the seams with just muscle and excitement and energy and getting us so fired up, and this great crowd of supporters, some of whom had come in from other places, many of whom had been on the ground for us in Iowa for months, and there was just so much energy. It was like
It was awesome.
you're a Dodge Grand Caravan rolling up to town and your battery's low, and you're connected to the charge of what's like a really powerful,
It's
like a
lightning-
nuclear power plant.
Yes, a lightning bolt of energy.
It was just
and
like
power, and it felt so good.
overwhelming
I
in
could
the
feel
best way. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was super exciting. And then we all marched in and got to meet other supporters of other campaigns,
Yeah.
all of whom were super cool, very chill. Everybody gets we're on the same team. At the end of the day, the goal is to defeat Donald Trump and make sure that a very divided country is up to the task of some huge challenges that we have in common. And I really felt that was the spirit of the 12,000 people who were there.
Yeah.
And then getting up on that stage, getting to look out over that crowd, and then having all those supporters behind me.
Wasn't it the
Felt
best
really good.
attended steak fry?
It was the best
history?
attended steak fry in
The history of
more
the
than
steak fry?
200 years.
Yeah.
It's true.
It was
12,000 people.
12,000 people.
12,000 people. Wow.
All right, Susie, that was the answer to your question. Thanks for asking. We have the best volunteers and supporters and team in Iowa.
Totally.
So there's a question from Julie, I think. My eyes aren't the eyes they used to be, so I have a hard time reading, especially as it gets dark. But she's asking about Minnesota. And she mentions the Democratic Farmer Labor Party and asks if we've been there. But we've been to Minnesota
Yeah.
a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
We were in Minneapolis, and I forget the name of the middle school, but we had a great town hall in the cafeteria of that middle school. Really fun, a lot of energy there. Some of my favorite bands like The Replacements, Husker Du are from Minnesota. Some of my favorite creative geniuses of all time, world historical figures like Bob Dylan and Prince are from Minnesota. So that's a state rich in talent and creativity. Lizzo?
Lizzo is.
Can you confirm Lizzo?
I'll look it up.
I think Lizzo's from Minneapolis.
Okay, we can give Zach his real shout out. If that's
Zach! Sorry, I blanked on your name, man. Zach was amazing. Zach was unplugged and unbound.
He was awesome.
He was out of control in the best way.
Yeah, a lot of people were commenting on him when they saw him on the live stream.
Does anybody have a picture of Zach?
He was
Pat,
awesome.
do you have a picture? I mean, I think if there were a poster of the campaign,
Fierce. He was fierce.
fierce determination,
Yep.
unafraid, no fear.
No fear.
All right, Julie, thank you for the question about Minnesota. Take a couple more, and then we'll focus on the road and our approach to Chicago. Leslie's a big Husker Du fan. Zen Arcade, Landspeed Record, Celebrated Summer. These are some songs and albums that come to mind. Yep, Lizzo, Confirmation.
Oh, remember this?
You know what? This is Drive by Cars. We'll let it play for a second. I want to get your thoughts.
This is the one his wife was in. Video.
So, of the Cars songs that have played so far during this retrospective, it's an important contribution to American pop music, but not my favorite. It's kind of down
Yeah.
and sad
So,
and doesn't have that propulsive new wave energy that the early Cars hits.
But when you're
But I think
young-
this was their biggest
yeah,
hit.
this is
So,
a
what was this
breakup
song like for
song.
you?
It
This
was
is your
like-
breakup
it was-
song?
Not my breakup song, but it was one of those songs, you know, that they would play at the school dances. Or when you broke up with your boyfriend, you know?
Broke up with Cynthia. She never listened to this song.
Oh, did you hear that? Cat, that's nice.
I said no one ever broke up with Cynthia. She never had to listen to this song.
Aw, you're a sweet cat.
All right, let's see, we'll take one more question. Olga in Corpus Christi, we cannot wait to get back to you.
Corpus Christi is good to us.
Lubbock, Texas.
Go Lubbock!
So, someone who just joined us last night who flew in from out of town, flew in from Lubbock, Texas
yeah,
to
that's
come to
right.
Iowa, which was such a cool surprise. And we were reminding him of Joe Ely and the Flatlanders and all the great music and musicians and people that come out of the Permian Basin. So, to our friends in Midland and Odessa, we're thinking about you. To our friends in Lubbock and Amarillo and Plainview and Dalhart and Boys Ranch and Pampa and the Panhandle, we're thinking about you as well. Good to see you on here. Thank you, Wendy. Cynthia says come back to Austin. We're going to be in Austin soon. So we're looking forward to seeing you then. Gabriella says Cynthia is beautiful. You have some fans there,
Oh, I
Cynthia.
love Gabriella. Love her. She's great. She's always on and supports us a lot.
Wow, so lots of the Descendants were in Chicago. Yep, last week, and we just missed them. Remember, we met the guitarist
Yeah.
for the Descendants in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We did a town hall there, so that was cool. That was a great moment. All right, I don't see any questions. Are we coming to Florida? We hope to be able to do that soon. So, Beto. Beth says, my granddaughter wants to be your daughter's friend. She also loves pets. She is 8, and her name is Serenity. She said to tell Molly hi. Hugs from Texas. I will definitely do that. And please tell Serenity that we say hello. And if you aren't following Amy, my wife's Instagram account, you need to do that. Amy and Molly and Henry and Ulysses to some degree are nursing 2 tiny kittens and fostering them and getting them ready to be adopted. And you can follow their progress on Amy O'Rourke's Instagram account. Please show Serenity. And then, yes, Molly would love to meet Serenity in person.
You think you're going to end up keeping those cats with them?
Oh, Cynthia asked, do you think we're going to keep those cats? Amy says no.
But the cats come on the road with us.
I think the cats coming on the road would be great.
We need a
We really need that.
animal.
We don't need that.
We need that. Yeah, like we don't need that. Big shout out to 95.9 for playing the Cars nonstop. And big shout out to the memory of Rick Ocasek. A lot of great songs. All right. Susie, Wendy, Duke. Duke says, tell Kano. Duke says, give him hell.
All right. Thank you, Duke.
Eyes on the road, Kano.
Yes.
Eyes on the road.
Focus, I'm
Hands
focused.
at 10 and 2.
Look, 2
All right.
hands, I'm focused.
We'll see you all. Thanks for joining us on the live stream tonight. Looking forward to seeing everybody who comes out to the roundtables tomorrow in Chicago. I think, are we live streaming them, Kat?
Yep.
I think we're going to live stream them. So if you can't be there in person, you can join us via live stream and get to listen to the conversation. And then our next public event where anyone can come to, is that in Gary?
That's in Gary.
That's in Gary. And so we'll see you in Gary very soon. Looking forward to it, folks. Adios. Nos vemos. Have a very, very good Sunday evening. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.